Alright, so my rolling table is 4 pistons surround a crafting table with iron ingots in the corner. So I take that, and I go put that down right over upstairs. So as it turns out, at one point I made this power armor tinker table, and I lost the footage for it. So we're going to inject this into an older video, so you're going to see some things in here that I don't have yet, but I have. Sorry about that. So in order to make the tinker table, nope, not the locked. In order to make the tinker table, we need several different things. We can use a machine block, an electronic circuit, and an emerald, and this is the pattern that I actually used. They're fairly straightforward to make. Yes, we have an ME system in the future. There's the emerald. There's the circuit. And there's the machine block. And to make these, all you need to do is put one there, one there, one there. It gives you the power armor tinker table. And that's it. Now I'm going to go place this over at Rose's house so that she can have a power armor tinker table, so that when I get around to making her power armor, she has it. Now that we have our tinker table, we need a bunch of pieces of armor, and we're going to start by making our boots first, and then we'll make the rest of the armor. To go along with the armor, we're going to need a power source, HV capacitors. There's 2 different recipes we can use. We'll probably use the one with the Lapatronic here. And now we're going to make a Lapatron crystal, which we'll need for our HV capacitor, which is basically our battery for our armor. Now to make our power suit, we're going to need lots of wirings. We're going to take some gold cable, and we're going to put the recipe in backwards. There we go. We're going to need lots of the wiring, and we need gold cable for that. We'll be making this recipe a lot, but that will allow us to make our HV capacitor. Now we're just going to put the Laptronic crystal in the top center and wiring on both sides, and there's our capacitor. In the tinker table, we just select our boots, put in the battery, the capacitor. We set the tier to roughly 1.5, 1.8. That will allow us to power up out of generators and crank the battery size all the way up. And now we can hold 5 million energy in there. Yeah, so we need some force field projectors and other things. Now we're just going to take these boots upstairs and throw them into one of the generators I have set up connected to my charcoal overflow for the moment. And it will take that a while to charge.
Amen to that, Brother Bill.
Now the whole point of the boots was to support a railgun on a power glove so that we don't fall to our death by firing at something and dying from the fall with the shock absorbers. So the next thing to make, of course, would be the power glove. And we do that with a couple pieces of refined iron and 3 circuits. And there we go. We have our power glove. Now let's go put our capacitor that we made, I made another one off camera, into the power glove. And we can start taking a look at some of the other things we need to make in order to get started using our power glove, because we really want this to replace all the existing tools and give us some better weapons. To make our LV capacitor, we're going to need some paper, so we just take 3 sugarcane in a row and make paper. We're also going to need that for magic, so we don't really have to worry about making too much. So we're going to take some silver and a little bit of gold, paper, and copper wire, and we're going to make ourselves a couple of LV capacitors for the different parts that we're going to need throughout the power suit. And we're going to make a grafter for our power glove. It's just a couple sticks and a piece of bronze. There we go. We'll stick it in our chest with all the other parts that we're saving for our power suit and power glove. Now we need to make a lot of solenoids in order to make a fully functional power suit and our glove. So we're going to take this block of iron, turn it into iron ingots, and run the iron down the center here and wire around it, or the wiring. That will give us a solenoid. It's kind of expensive, and we're going to be making a whole lot of them. I really don't feel like making a whole bunch of more electronic circuits, so I'm going to make some pneumatic servos and wiring and solenoids to make a bunch of servos, which seems odd. You have to make pneumatic servos to make servos. Yeah. Okay, anyway, we're going to make a bunch of these things. Now we're going to make some pneumatic servos, so we take some iron at the top and bottom, redstone in the middle, a little glass on both sides. That will give us our pneumatic servos. We can then use that to make our regular servos with a little wiring, the pneumatic servo, and the solenoids. Now we have servo motors. And finally we need some control circuits. We're going to take two electronic circuits and put them up here. Some wiring. We'll take some redstone, put it here and here. And we'll take the glowstone dust, put it there, and now we get our control circuits. And that gives us, I think, everything we need to get our power glove and our power glove up and running. So let's check this out. So let's add our axe and move it all the way up. Well, we'll install our items here. Let's just keep going. And we'll crank that all the way up to full. Now we'll put in melee assist. That way we can punch stuff, and our railgun. Crank that all the way up. And that looks like everything. For the rest of our armor, we're going to need some basic plating for the heat or coolant system, and it's simple tin gear and iron. So that's the recipe we'll use. To make our tin gears, we're going to put a piece of iron in the middle, and we are going to put the tin around the sides. Just like so, and there's our tin gears. We take our tin gear and we surround it by iron, and that gives us our basic plating. Now we can use this for armor or for the coolant. We're going to use it for coolant because the new power suits generate a lot of heat and bad things happen if you overheat them. So we'll just come over here and put in the heat sink, and we'll make it really, really thick. There we go. Now we're going to need force field emitters in order to actually put armor on our power armor. You can use the other types of armor, the basic plating, the advanced plating, but the force fields really give you the best power. And I've gone swimming in lava with the force field emitters on, and I've come out without having burned to death. So I'm going to make some of these, but I'm going to have to make some advanced circuits, and that's going to require more circuits, glowstone dust, and a few other things. So let me go gather that stuff up, and I'll be back. So we're going to make our advanced circuits here. We're going to take the glowstone, put them up at the top, and we're going to take a little lapis on both sides. We will take the redstone in the corners, and we will take our circuit and put them there, and there's our advanced circuits. Oops, there we go. Now we're going to make some force field emitters by putting the advanced circuits in the center, surrounding it with ender pearls, and then solenoids in the corners, and there gives us our force field emitters. We're going to need a lot of these, a whole lot. So I'm going to have to go digging up some resources to make a bunch of these here in a little bit, but I'll do that off camera. Okay, now I've made a couple more servos, and I'm going to take them and, oh, I forgot to grab the wool. There we go, wool. Now I'll put them in here and make my shock, install the shock absorber and turn it all the way up. This means that no matter how far I fall, I'm not going to die. And I'll turn the force field strength up all the way now that I've installed that, and that will give my shoes or boots a really high amount of armor. And now we'll just throw them in here, make sure that they're charged all the way up. That will take a while. That will take a while. But now I'll be able to run around and shoot things with my railgun and not plummet to my death from being launched up in the air, which is a beautiful thing. I'll make the rest of the power armor at a later point. I don't need it at the moment, but this will help me with my digging and construction and killing of mobs.
I told you you'll have the your power up before I did.
I
And
don't
I
have
started
I don't
before.
have full power. Don't make that mistake. I don't have full power. I got a couple generators that I've thrown these in, and that's it. I don't have any MJ production.
No, but you've got enough power to run your tree farm where I don't even have mine up yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. And I should. Really? Am I really that far along? I'm further along than I thought I was, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a full double chest of charcoal, plus
Okay.
some. Probably, and since it's all chunk loaded now, probably tomorrow it will all be ready to go. So, in theory, I'll be able to start. Well, I'm gonna have to go dig up coal, and I'm gonna have to go get a bunch more iron because I don't have any iron left. I pretty much burned through everything I had. Okay. So we will make the final 2 pieces here. Do that. So we've made most of the parts of our power armor. We still have to make the helmet and all the modules that go into the different parts. Unfortunately, I've run out of resources, and so I'm going to have to stop. I can't make resources out of thin air. I'm going to have to go mining. This is a good spot for me to stop at this point, and I will come back after I have gathered up some resources. But until then, dig safe, my friends.